Welcome to Your Around the Peninsula. I'm Petty Officer Chris Church. Senior Airman Corey Schuler sits down with a father who talks about the lasting impact a son can have.
He said that his music would change the world. That was his goal, that he was gonna make music that was gonna impact others. And I so wish that that time could come. My son, Tay, was 14. I think what he was dealing with is he never really talked about my mother's passing. And I think that her birthday kind of brought up his memories of her, and he kind of didn't know how to deal with it. When he came home, something just wasn't right. I was like, all right, well, I'll just go back and check. And as soon as I turned the corner, he's kind of lifted himself up on a tie. The tie was hung around his neck. It was tied to the top of the closet where you hang your clothes. We laid him on the floor. I went straight into CPR. I was trying to do CPR constantly over and over and over. We weren't getting a response. We lost my first and only son. We had to go through the natural funeral arrangements with my son. He's buried right next to my mom, so I know he's being washed over. It was kind of a realization that my son passed away on my mother's birthday. If he would have talked to myself or a teacher or even a distant person that doesn't even know him from anyone else, that he would at least gotten some help and he would have been able to talk at least to somebody and to realize that this is not what I need to do. If anything I could tell that soldier, airman, Marine, or even seaman is that they need to realize that their life is valuable. No matter how they see it, to someone else, their life is so valuable. It is so many other things that you can do. It's not the end. It is definitely not the end. People have overcome hurdles, bad points in their life all the time. Anything can be overcome. Anything.
Sergeant Hubbard said he hopes sharing his story will have an impact, and if you're struggling, you always have someone to turn to. If you've got two wheels, then you could have a ticket to some of the best sites in Seoul. Specialist Derek Ramey shows us how the USFK engineers took advantage of that opportunity.
In celebration of Chuseok, the United States Forces Korea engineers organized a 30-kilometer bicycle tour, the second annual Tour de Seoul. Welcoming cyclists of all ages and experience levels, this event drew in approximately 110 participants, more than double the previous year's turnout.
An event like this is good for any service members that are stationed here because they're not confined to just what's going on within any Army or military garrison. They get to get out, see the sights, and integrate into the local culture.
Led by the Seoul Patrol, a local cycling organization, the riders toured Seoul with stops at scenic and historical sites.
I'm very glad to be here to help the foreigners in Korea. It was great to be together. There are both children and adults here, so it was like family, and that was good.
We're here at the Republic of Korea's National Assembly, which was the midpoint for the Tour de Seoul. Now the 110 cyclists just left, and they're on their way to the end point where there's a barbecue waiting for them.
We promote everyone going out, seeing the country. You know, you're here for only a certain amount of time, and you got to make the most of it. So Tour de Seoul is just one way of doing that.
Specialist Derek Ramey, Yongsan, Korea.
Organizers of the Tour de Seoul say this event would not have been successful without the local Boy Scouts from Troop 82 who came out to support the event. Perseverance pays off for those who deserve it. Army Sergeant Tamara Thompson shows us how the payoff of hard work and dedication gets you into a brotherhood.
Sailors in Shinhae came together to honor two of their own. The ceremony involves their sponsors as well, who have shown them support through all their hard work.
The ones that have gone before me that have were selected as chiefs, and those leaders that I saw, those footsteps that they were walking, I wanted to follow them. I wanted to be where they were.
This promotion carries a lot of meaning and responsibility.
Expect him to be the subject matter expert now. There is no, well, let me ask this one guy above me. He is that guy now.
The promotion to Chief Petty Officer is a reminder of those who have come before them and served. It also represents the sacrifice sailors and their families endure.
As someone who's gone through steam and pressure, tried, tested, and true, and I stand here as a Chief Petty Officer in the world's greatest Navy.
Army Sergeant Tamara Thompson, Chinhae, Korea.
The donning of the cover represents an important part of the promotion tradition. Tuning into the radio is more than just turning the dial. Senior Airman James Bueller listens in on a soldier that channels her radio in the battlefield.
Echo 1-8, this is Echo 1-2, over.
Communications is important in every aspect of the Army because that's what makes us function. If you don't have communication, you have nothing. All right, first thing I want everybody to do is press the menu button, which is located in the bottom left-hand corner of the keypad. Press it one time and it should say volume, correct?
Sergeant Petty is a communications instructor for soldiers training to receive their Expert Infantryman badge, the first female to do so.
All right, once everybody has the frequency loaded, I want you to turn the selector switch from load to squelch on, which will be one click up.
Sergeant Petty tells soldiers to start from scratch.
I told you forget everything about radios you ever learned.
Then trains them to be effective communicators in the field.
If the guys don't know how to talk on the radio, then when they get out to the battlefield, they're kind of lost because then that just puts you out there by yourself. You have to be able to talk back to somebody else. You have to be able to call for help. You have to be able to call for fire. You have to be able to let people know where you are. So communication is very important.
Echo 1-2, this is Echo 1-5, roger.
Senior Airman James Bueller.
Over.
Echo Tree Echo, this is Echo 1-7, out. You have all successfully entered the net.
Warrior Base, Korea.
Just talk to me just so I know you can hear me. That lets me know that you're in the net.
Sergeant Petty's peers describe her as one of the best communications instructors they've ever worked with. Service members devote much time for their country. Katusa Corporal Min-Kyu Bae meets one airman who takes it a step further.
I'm very proud of you, and we appreciate your great support in everything that you do every day to make a difference in the lives of people.
The Good Neighbor Award recognizes those that contribute to Korean-American relations.
Next is Ambassador for the Alliance, Senior Airman Clarissa.
This is a lot bigger than I expected it to. I didn't know that I had such a big impact on Korea.
During her 7 months in Korea, Airman Granger performed various volunteer work, including teaching English and sharing culture.
Upon getting here, I just jumped right in. I just wanted to be a part of the culture and learn it. I figured you're here for only a year, so make do with your environment and just enrich yourself and immerse yourself in it.
Katusa Corporal Min-Kyu Bae. Yongsan, Korea.
Airman Granger plans to continue volunteer work in her next unit in California. Service members are constantly told it's time to train, but their family members know all too well that they aren't exempt from it either. Army Sergeant Jared Don is on the scene to learn more.
Military barricades, long rows of tents, and family members can only mean one thing. The NEO, or non-combatant evacuation operation, is underway.
So we are the first step here in processing for the NEO exercise. Me and my colleagues here are from the U.S. Embassy Consular Section. We're all consular officers, and our job here is to verify that the people coming to us are actually U.S. citizens and eligible for evacuation, and that they have that they have valid travel documents.
Signs are all over the place, labeling each station with someone there helping you along the way.
So this class is optional, so you will learn how to wear a gas mask.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're interested in, take seats.
The hardest part was really just making sure everything's in order. Simple enough, you go through, ensure your paperwork's up, ensure your documentation is up, put that all in one area, ensure you have a bag packed in case such a time would arise, and it's actually quite easy.
Army Sergeant Jared Don, Yongsan, Korea.
The NEO exercise is held annually at various locations around the Korean Peninsula. That was your Around the Peninsula for Thursday, October 3rd. From all of us at AFN, enjoy your evening.